He had $1.5 million in cash. He just sold his mill. He told me he'd give me a silver dollar every year. If I kept that silver dollar, he'd give me two the next year.
You still have those?
Yeah, I think I have. In other words, he almost went broke. Depression came along about that time.
What keeps you interested? What occupies your mind, and what are you thinking about?
Think about how to make money.
I love it.
Be determined and be focused on what you're looking for and have a desire to make it happen.
Can you take me back to your early days, your childhood? Where did you grow up? Just finished interviewing Mr. Finley McRae here at Rex Lumber in Graceville, Florida. Blown away. Incredible legacy, incredible family, incredible story with really deep, rich history. 1947 oxen are used to pull logs out of the woods, and from there, I mean, the family business, there's so much legacy and history. They were in hardwood, making hardwood lumber, laminating it for different purposes. We walked through that. Economics and the current market conditions, we went through that. Tariffs, Canadian lumber, we crossed the spectrum end to end, from him knowing the founder of Rex, which is his grandfather, to his father, and passing down the legacy now to his children. Absolutely incredible. Amazing opportunity to be here in Graceville, Florida, filming content for the Wood World platform. Stay tuned to find out more. Can you take me back to your early days, your childhood? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Graceville, Florida. Small town boy, small town in Graceville, Florida. The family had a sawmill, and my father had two partners. He had his two brothers as partners. We bought them out over the years and owned it ourselves, and we did that. And then I was stuck with my brother and sister. And
what were their names?
Bob McRae and Suzanne McRae, Sheffield. And I bought them out.
Sorry, what was your father's name?
Robert McRae.
And your grandfather?
William David McRae, W.D. McRae.
W.D. McRae.
Yes.
Okay. Did you know him?
Yes.
Wow. So can you share a little bit about that? Is he the actual founder, I heard, of Rex?
That's right.
So take me back there. I mean, how old were you? I mean...
I was young. Very, very young.
Yeah.
Yeah, like... gosh, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old.
Wow.
When he died in 49, I was like 7 years old.
Wow. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
What were you doing with the grandfather?
He gave me a silver dollar. And told me he'd give me a silver dollar every year. If I kept that silver dollar, he'd give me two the next year.
Is that right?
Yeah, right.
You still have those?
Yeah, I think I have them.
You have them somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
Was he an influence in your life? Was he one of the people that you look up to, or you were kind of still young at that point?
I was too young to know anything. I didn't have my mind on anything in particular at that time.
Yeah. What was grandfather like?
He was stern, a stern man. You didn't cross him. He's very strong-willed and didn't put up with any stuff out of anybody. He just was that nature of his personality.
Yeah. And then your father, what is his name again?
Robert McRae.
And so he was then the next generation of the sawmill.
Right.
And now you are a third generation.
I'm a third generation.
What got them all into this business? Why sawmills? Why wood products?
Well, that's just where it was. I mean, that's what we came from. It's the only thing we knew at that time, was we were lumber people. My wife's family are lumber people.
Okay.
From Bibb County, Alabama. W.E. Belcher Lumber Company.
Okay.
And they owned 150,000 acres of land up there. They sold that land out, and so we married into it even, so.
You got it on both sides.
Right.
Your family and the wife's family. Right. What is your wife's name, sir?
Martha K. McRae.
Martha. Well, I guess I'm curious, like, tell me more about W.D. McRae.
WD was just a good businessman, and when he first came over to Quincy to buy the land, so he came over here back in 22 from Mobile. He had $1.5 million in cash. He just sold his mill out in Alabama. That's a lot of money for back then. And he went to see Monroe, a Mr. Monroe out of Quincy. He was a banker. And Mr. Monroe said, Mr. Mack, I'd be glad to sell you that land, but I tell you what you ought to do with the money. You ought to buy Coca-Cola stock. and that might have been the right decision. But anyway, he went and bought the land and had the land and built the mill, had 2 mills at that time he was building back in 1922. And he had 2 mills, that hardwood mill, the pine mill.
Mm-hmm.
But the Depression came along about that time. So he was glad to get out of there after everything's said and done with more than $200,000 or $300,000. In other words, he almost went broke.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he came on over this way and he bought 40,000 acres of land with that money and put in a sawmill in Graceville.
What kind of sawmill was that?
It's a cypress mill.
Oh.
It really was for cypress. This country was loaded with cypress, had ponds and cypress, and there wasn't any environmental restrictions on anything back then.
Sure.
So we used to cut cypress, and he cut pine, and he cut hardwoods and stuff like that. And went on, and we started making oak flooring, hardwood flooring.
Hardwood flooring, okay.
Okay, so we were known as a hardwood flooring mill.
Wow.
For years.
Uh-huh.
In 1974, I think it is, we decided we'd build a pine sawmill, and we did. Up until that time, we'd been strictly hardwood.
Wow.
We entered into the hardwood laminating business back in 68 or 69.
How would people use the laminated hardwoods?
We had a contract with the Great Dane trailer.
Okay.
And it was floors for the trailers.
So for the trucking industry, it was the
product for the trucking industry, yeah.
So you got the trailer, and inside the trailer you've got the floor, and that was out of hardwood that you've laminated.
40 foot.
I gotcha.
Glued up floors.
Yeah.
And we did that. We built a mill, modernized that mill, or sold that mill in 1980. Southwest Forest Products came in, and they were just determined to have the mill. They had just bought the paper mill in Panama City.
Okay.
And they just had to have sawmill to go with it. So they came in and bought our sawmill from us. And
so were you involved in the business at this time or not yet?
Yeah.
You were?
I was involved in the business from 1965 on.
How old were you then?
22, 23, yeah.
So from your early 20s, you've been involved in the family business then, yeah?
That's right.
What was your father doing at this time?
Well, finally he turned it over to me around 1970. So I was running the business, and he was kind of what you call retired. And so that's where that.
What did he do in retirement? Was he still active in the? He liked good golf.
Golf.
Are you a golfer in your time now?
No. Nah, I never got into golf.
What do you like to do on your free time? Or do you just keep working?
Well, I go to the beach every weekend.
Oh.
It's about an hour away, you know.
Sure. But you're still involved in the business day to day.
Yeah. I keep right up with everything.
How old are you now?
82.
Mr. Finley, why do you keep doing what you're doing? You could be at the beach 24/7 and you keep doing what you're doing. Why, right? That's like
I get bored if I didn't have it to do. What are you going to do if you're doing nothing? I mean, how do you even feel like living if you don't have something you're interested in?
Yeah. And you're very interested in the business, I take it.
Oh, yeah.
What keeps you interested? What kind of things are you thinking about? What occupies your mind and what are you thinking about?
Think about how to make money.
I love it. It's kind of hard when the markets are what they are.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So, Mr. Finley, then you've seen a lot of market conditions over the years.
This is a pretty bad one, though. And the strange thing about this market is this market was getting better earlier in the year. We looked like we were on the way to a recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the stuff about the tariffs came into play. It totally mixed up everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The Canadians, I guess, started dumping lumber into the United States before anything took place.
Right.
The unfair competition fee that they had to pay went from 14% going to go in August to 34%.
Which is incentivizing them to dump the...
So they started dumping lumber into the United States before that happened. Yeah. And so the question is what happens with, that's not even the tariffs, that's just the unfair competition.
Duties.
Duties, yeah. And so basically the tariffs hadn't taken, kind of at a standstill.
Yeah.
We don't know if there's a tariff going to be added on top of that at this time. We're not sure. But we think they're dumping the lumber into the country before anything takes effect.
Well, so speaking of the lumber market specifically in the U.S., it's affected by the housing, interest rates, other factors. What are those that are...
The cost of a home now
Yes.
is just getting out of reach for a lot of people to have a house. In other words, a house years ago that cost $100,000 probably going for $350,000, and people's income has not been able to keep up with the cost of getting a home.
Right.
Interest rates are part of it. I don't see interest rates. I don't know what happens there. Now, we've had an inflationary spiral here recently. I don't know if that translates into higher incomes for people, but that would help on that.
So how does it impact your business then? How do these factors, how does housing and all these things affect your business?
Well, that's it. I mean, people stop building houses or slow down building houses. Now, one of the things is there's a shortage of housing. The housing is in short supply and it's needed.
Yes.
But the economic constraints of interest rates and the cost of the home are affected things.
Right. Well, in your business, the lumber that you produce ends up mostly in homes, I assume. Is that right?
Yes, it's the home building, the improvement, home improvement, the industrial side of the lumber business, the home building side of the lumber business.
What kind of products do you guys actually make?
2x4s, 2x6s, 2x12s, up to 20-foot length.
And you're kiln drying your materials and planing them?
Kill dry everything.
You know, I guess for those who don't really know much about our industry and maybe driving by, they see a log truck or they are seeing a clear cut or something like that. Can you educate those who may be watching who are not familiar with what we actually do? What would you like to share with the community members or people across the U.S. that they live in a home, but they don't know what holds up, the trusses in their roof? Nobody peels that back and tells them all about it.
Nobody knows what it's made out of other than wood.
Yeah. Well, they want them a chicken, but they don't want to know where it comes from.
Right, yeah.
Set them straight. Tell them all about it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much to say about that, except I'm so used to the subject that I never even think about it, But the uh, the wood in the house is the primary material for homes. There is concrete, there is steel, but wood is the number one thing that you build a house out of.
Yes.
It's the main material that's used to build a house.
Right.
And if you go all over if you've been around the beach down there, they're building, it's all wood, everything down there, except if you're right on the beach, they'll do concrete.
Yeah.
Hurricane proof and trying to hurricane proof. Yeah. But everything else down there, generally speaking, is lumber, southern pine lumber.
Well, my house that we just built is southern pine lumber. We've got the block exterior walls, and then we've got interior walls are all wood, and the trusses are wood, and my fences just got built. It's also out of wood. So
Yeah.
wood everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And that's softwood, but also you mentioned hardwood is kind of your origin story here. Hardwood and other types of species are used for our furniture, like we see this desk, paper products, so much uses for wood products. Right?
Everything under the sun. Now, flooring, hardwood flooring, oak flooring was our specialty, what we did here. But we cut all the in our sawmills, we cut all the hardwoods and soft hardwoods. But we had a flooring mill just to run our flooring through.
Yeah.
And then they came in and they changed the rules that you could use carpet. It used to be the rules is you had to put hardwood flooring down to get a business loan, I think it was, to build a house. Yeah. And you had to put down a hardwood floor because they thought everything else would just not be lasting, it would not last. And so it went on to be, they changed that rule and said you could put a carpet down and get your business loan or your house loan, They used to have a restriction on that.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Here's a question I love to ask. If you could snap your fingers right now and tomorrow you walk into your business and your top 2 challenges are solved, what are those for you today?
Top 2 challenges? Well, we're thinking about things all the time, and we got 2 pellet mills. I worry about the pellet mills, because here comes the environmental people saying you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to spend this money, you got to spend that money, but we're doing it and we're plowing through it. It is aggravating. And we have interest in Smart Lam, which is beams, laminated beams. It's in Dothan.
Making mass timber CLT panels?
Yes. Yeah, glue lam and mass timbers.
And you're a stakeholder in the Smart Lam business then? Or you're part owner of the Smart Lam?
Yeah, the top investor in it.
Are you also supplying the lumber?
Yes.
Okay. I'm familiar with the mass timber movement, and in North America it's relatively new, but it seems to be.
We just put in what was that, $50-60 million addition in there to make beams, exposed beams,
right,
and so on.
Right.
They just now shaking that down.
Okay.
But we're doing that, and it's going to be fine because we're one of the only ones that are doing that in the South.
And that's in Dothan, Alabama?
Dothan, Alabama.
Do you ever go up that way?
I go up there every week.
I'd love to go up there and hang out with you there for a bit at some point. Yeah. I want to go see it myself. I've heard about the new system, but I've not been there and checked it out yet.
Right. We have a brand new building there. I don't know what, 500 feet long.
So in terms of challenges, I was talking with your daughter, Caroline, and we were talking about, it's one thing that you maybe haven't mentioned yet, but what about labor? What about people? Like to run a business as Rex?
I say we're pretty stable on people. To maintain good labor is not easy. but we've been able to do that.
What do you do to be able to manage and support and continue to bring in good people to the business?
Normally speaking, you just have to wait. You have some opportunities, like the paper mill shuts down over here, and we try to grab some of their mechanical people if we can.
Yeah.
And the paper mills have been shutting down all over.
Yeah.
Three or four in this area have shut down.
It's not good, because then what do people do with residuals, right?
Well, that's true. One of the things you do with residuals, you make microchips. Make microchips to sell to the pellet mills. Not ours, but
Yeah.
but anyway, so we convert to make microchips, and that's one of the things you do with a residual. Then we're working on something where you can take sawdust,
Yes.
and microwave it.
Oh, why would you want to do that?
Microwave it to get the dry moisture out of it.
Yes.
So you come in with moisture 30-40%. You go through this process. We're working on this process right now. You microwave the sawdust and get it dried down to 10%.
Okay.
Then you can take that 10% and take it and put it into pellets.
Okay.
And so we're working on that process. We think it's going to be successful, but we can't say that for sure at this minute, but we think it will be.
Understood. Where would those go? Where would they be used?
We'll use them in that Dothan pellet mill.
I gotcha. But then where do they get used? Like, what's the end? Like, lumber builds homes, pellets.
Pellets go to the European market.
Why do they need them?
They use them for fuel. Pellets are their answer to fuel to run their electrical system.
Well, I wanted to go back to your personal legacy. And did you end up going to high school? Like, can you carry me forward? What's your personal journey to today? Maybe take a large paintbrush, if you will, right? And show me kind of like over your course of your career, how we got to today. You started with your family and your father and your grandfather.
I was more or less a wild child.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest with you. I was not disciplined at all. And my dad ended up putting me in a military school.
Okay.
And I was in a military school, and I actually, for the first time, started making some good grades. Up to that time, I was doing pretty bad. Then I went on to Alabama, and from Alabama, University of Alabama, I went into the Coast Guard for 6 months, military service, and then got married at age 22, and went to a little town called Cross City, Florida, where we had a hardwood mill,
Right.
a flooring mill. Went there and stayed there a couple of years, and then came back to Graceville. And there's where we came back to Graceville and started buying out our uncles.
Right. What was that process like?
It was fine. One uncle had a heart attack that he wanted to sell.
Sure.
The other one was just kind of looked after, and he was ready to do it, to sell.
Yeah.
So we ended up, the children, brothers and sisters, ended up buying it. And my dad, we bought it. And then from there, it evolved over a period of time, and all these things happened. Here's the first Belcher sawmill.
Built in 1906.
Right. And Eddie was my wife's granddaddy.
Okay.
He ended up owning the whole thing. His name was W.E. Belcher. And the big lumber family. Here's my dad right here.
That's him?
Yeah.
1960s.
Yeah. He has a sawmill and carriage
Yeah, and the guy's riding the carriage.
Yeah.
You don't do that usually these days anymore.
Don't do it. The logs.
Is this hardwood or this is already softwood?
This is hardwood and pine.
Okay.
Uh,
You got a big band mill right there.
right.
And that's so interesting that there's an operator riding on the carriage.
Right. That's right.
So he's the sawyer.
Yeah.
He's making the decisions. He's the optimizer.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
So, Daddy, this would be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Doo-Ga-Loo.
Yeah.
You want to tell them?
Mr. Finley, what's the Doo-Ga-Loo?
The Doo-Ga-Loo is where you pay some of your employees
Yeah.
with this money. This your own company money.
So during the Great Recession, no, the Depression, during the Depression,
Yes.
the money supply was tight and you couldn't get money. So they created a circular. They had a general store, so they created money. They paid, and it could all be circular.
Right.
Do you remember this? When this was in use?
Oh my God.
That's wild. So what would the employees would receive these coins,
Yeah.
these Doo-Ga-Loos, and then how would the employees use them?
They take them to a store.
Then it was your company store?
Yeah.
So it was a rec store.
Lid and white, I think.
I lived in white. Yeah.
But we didn't own that.
We didn't know that.
So there was just a system in town.
Yeah, but we had a company
Yeah.
on the premises. We had a little store, but it was here
Like-
at Linden White.
Like groceries? You were selling them
Yeah.
groceries and food and things? That's so cool. So it was $1, but $1 then was worth...
$10 or more.
Wow. So I want to ask you about that part of that evolution process. And to be completely honest with you, or you mentioned this, you said this line just earlier that you like to make money. So I want to ask you about the businessman. Tell me from a business perspective, just your evolution of like, you've made investments and behind you, you've got, you know, the different photographs that we can see now of how things are today versus how things were in the 60s and 70s and such. But as a businessman, can you tell me through, talk me through, how do you make decisions and how have you made decisions? You've seen a lot of hard times and challenging times. How do you make decisions?
Well, like land, we try to accumulate a piece of land if it comes up on the market. People are very, very tight about their land. They don't like to sell their land. They fall in love with it.
Yeah.
But a piece of land comes up, if it fits the bill, you try to buy it. So we accumulated several thousands of acres of land. We grow timber on it.
Right.
We have put aside a lot of money in U.S. stocks and bonds, stocks. So we have a very sizable portfolio of stocks. And we have our businesses. And 3 of our businesses are doing just fine right now,
Yes.
even in the hard times. But we have one in Mississippi that we're struggling with and trying to make a decision of what we're going to do about that particular mill in Mississippi.
I gotcha. But I'm just saying, I think that I'm interested in understanding your reasoning, the way you reason, because you have a family business that's been here for generations, and I assume you want it to stay for many generations after. And so you make decisions differently rather than other businesses who, in our industry or outside of our industry, are more worried about quarterly returns for shareholders and such.
But we don't have to worry about that because we don't have shareholders.
So how does your reasoning, how do your decisions, for example, if you're going to solve a bottleneck in one of your sawmills, how do you go about a project like that?
Well, you have to get people involved with you that understand the mechanical thing of it real good and help you through it.
Yeah.
You can't do everything by yourself. You have to have help.
Yeah.
And so we run into a problem, we call in the right mechanics or to come in and give us their advice on what they would do about certain things.
Yeah, totally. And I was just talking with Rod, for example, right?
Yeah.
Or Keith and other folks from your team. So you have a lot of amazing people that are you're surrounded with that are able to help you. And
Yeah, that's right. Rod is very good.
so, I mean, I'm just kind of curious, like you're making long-term decisions. How do you go about identifying bottleneck in the mill and saying, here, we're going to spend this money and we're going to get a return on it from your business acumen sense?
You're looking for the mill, and you understand your business. You know what the capacity of the mill should be, like hourly, daily, and weekly. Like this mill is a 200+ million foot mill right here.
Wow.
The one in Detroit is a 300 million foot mill a year.
Mm-hmm.
And the one in Bristol is 160 million feet a year mill.
Timber. Yeah. Due to the timber constraints.
So we're hitting up there around 800 million feet of lumber a year.
Wow.
Which didn't put us in the top 10, but we're right under the top 10.
That's a lot of lumber production right there.
That's it. And then we got a pole business. We make utility poles.
Uh-huh.
We got like I said, the pellet business.
Mm-hmm.
We have our interest in the glue lam business.
Sure.
It's all wood products related.
Yeah. Another interesting angle I want to ask you about is you must have seen a large change, or you've probably seen a great change in like the technology that's used to make wood products, lumber, pellets, and everything over the years. Can you share a little bit about that? Like some insight from what were the early days like when your father, grandfather ran the mill to what is it like now?
Well, usually the dynamics of the family is you say like my uncles' wives wanted their kids to go to Georgia Tech and be an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want them to be in a greasy, dirty sawmill.
Mm.
You know, that's the family dynamic.
Yes.
That keeps them away from getting interested in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you took an interest in something, you had to, it's a personal decision. I like this. I'm glad they don't want their children involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go from there, and you're just lucky.
But you've seen, I'm saying, in terms of your actual like lumber production, like the way that the saws are doing things and the ways that there's optimization now that there maybe haven't been in the past, right? Have you seen the technology change over the years?
Oh yeah, it's all changed.
How?
Well, methods that change, the improvements, pieces of equipment that have adapted to the new technologies about this. You do this and you do that, automatically does it for you. Like tensioning the saw, you have to keep a saw tension.
Yes.
So it won't be
wobbling or curving.
It will not be wobbling on you. You got to keep it stiff.
Sure.
So you have to. Methods of doing that have improved over the years and gotten better.
Yeah.
Because of technology.
Yeah, well, the technology, the scanning. When I started, the curve saw gang was coming out.
Oh,
so that is
wow.
a big deal because it would follow the curve of the tree to
Right.
improve the yield. Then the kilns, I mean, think of the productivity.
Yeah, the dry kilns out here, these are all what you call progressive kilns. And a progressive kiln used to be, 15 years ago, there wasn't anything but what you call batch kiln.
Oh yeah, you put the lumber in.
You put the lumber in, close the doors or leach in, and let it sit there dry for 24 hours. Then you pull it all out and refill it. Now what you do, you call it, you're always loading lumber going in, and it's just moving through the system.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out of the end is a continuous ribbon of lumber that goes in and comes out. And that's the big improvement in the drying.
Totally.
Yeah. The guy named Pollard Lumber Company.
Andy Pollard?
Yeah.
I know Andy.
Yeah, Andy developed this system.
Continuous dry kiln?
Yeah, he developed this system right here. And everybody took went for it.
Yeah, Andy's a great guy. He's an inventor type, coming up with solutions and innovations and things.
That's right. He's an innovator is what he is. Yes.
I guess I'm actually here this week checking out your merchandising line there. That's another improvement, right?
Merchandising.
Yes, right? We're here looking at the merchandising line, the bucking line, with the the Carbotech line.
Oh yeah, the brand new $8 million thing out there. I used to could build a sawmill for $8 million, a whole mill.
Yeah.
The one now that's one system that cost $8 million.
So I guess over the time, who's had a biggest impact on you as a mentor, or just any people who've helped you become who you are today?
My father helped me. I mean, I learned. You grew up in the business, and you get very familiar with what's going on.
Yeah.
And you got your father there to tell you this and tell you that.
Yes.
It makes it pretty convenient.
Yes.
If you're lucky enough to be in that situation.
And you were.
Yeah.
What exactly has he done in your life? What kind of impact and legacy? What kind of values has he instilled in you?
Honesty. Why does that work? Being honest is the most important thing there is. You go out and you're dishonest, you'll never hide that. Sooner or later it will come out. So you just cannot afford to be anything but straight honest with people.
Mr. Finley, to wrap up, thank you so much for your time, but there's a lot of young people that maybe don't see our industry as an opportunity in the future. Do people need wood products in the future? And if so, what kind of jobs, what kind of opportunities should people see in our industry?
It would be very hard, very difficult for anybody to start from scratch today and be in this industry, because of the cost of getting into this business is so high that they cannot afford to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's now you have your Georgia Pacifics and you have your Weyerhaeusers, and you got old family.
I guess you could take that if you
Red Emerson family is a private company, one of the biggest, Sierra Pacific.
Correct.
You got some others out on the West Coast, Hampton, I think.
Hampton, yes.
Yeah. But it's very difficult to be a private lumberman now. To be honest with you, it's very difficult to get in and do it.
So there's an interesting story, and I don't know if he touched on it this is going back to history, so.
Please.
Quincy, the Monroe.
Yes.
I don't know if you know anything about Quincy, Florida, but those are the Coca-Cola millionaires. Basically, Monroe went out and talked all these people in the town to buy Coca-Cola stock.
Is that right?
And then you have this large group of families that became millionaires.
Okay. Yeah, filthy rich.
WD funded some of that with the purchase of the land.
Whoa. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Tell me that story.
Yeah. Well, that's what he did.
Yeah, I want to hear from you about what year was that, and then kind of what's the story there.
22, I think. 1922. He came over from Mobile. He was living in Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Had his office in the First National Bank of Mobile. He had mills in Mississippi and Alabama. Sold it out. Came on over and met with Mr. Monroe because he heard Mr. Monroe had a big piece of land that he was willing to sell. So he came over here to visit with him and see what he could do with it. And he made a deal on the land. And like I said a while ago, he says, Mr. Mack, I'd be glad to sell you the land, but if I was you, I'd take that money and buy Coca-Cola stock. Which
was that a good move for the people who did that?
The Coca-Cola stock? Oh, yeah. I mean, Quincy has been known as one of the richest little towns in Florida
Because of that
because
Coca-Cola
of the Coca-Cola
stock.
money.
Interesting.
Mr. Monroe, he talked it up to everybody. Well, it's got to be understood that it is a renewable product. The trees, growing trees,
Yes.
and rotating trees, and you collect more carbon with young trees than you do older trees.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a benefit for people to actually cut the timber and replant, and those trees that are growing will collect more carbon than the old mature trees.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so we need a lot of tree planting going on, and
The way you have a lot of tree planting is to have a healthy forest products market.
yes, yes, absolutely, got to have a healthy market to plant the trees.
Yep. So, and sustainability, can we pick up on that? Like, I guess, for those maybe who are not familiar with our industry, what's the full life cycle of a tree then?
Now they have improved the new improved loblolly pine,
Mm-hmm.
and the loblolly pine is the preferred species of pine you want to plant. It grows faster. It's just the most preferred. It used to be slash pine.
Mm-hmm.
Long leaf is just too long to grow. It's not. Everybody says, "Oh, long leaf, we want long leaf," but that's where the country was when we came here 150, 200 years ago. It's all long leaf.
Yep.
But the loblolly pine is the preferred pine, and takes about 25 years to maturity.
And then for it to be a sawmill log,
Yes, 25 years.
that's rather quick.
It is. It's gotten better and better and better. They've genetically improved it
Mm-hmm.
over the years to where it is the preferred pine tree.
Yeah.
What the country needs is more mechanical people. Technology and electricians, mechanics, and those type people to rather than their parents think they just have to have a college education
Mm-hmm.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
When the better paying jobs are,
The trades.
yeah.
What are you guys doing here at Rex to enable more trades and upskilling trades?
We're right at this time. We are bought the old school here.
Why'd you do that?
Well, they moved to another location,
Okay.
and they were right next door to us.
Okay.
So we bought that school, and we're setting up our own little school for training people, technicians,
Mm-hmm.
electricians, mechanics, hydraulics, troubleshooting.
Yeah.
How to make something last without having to replace it.
That's important.
In other words, you're going to put on a bearing or something, you got to do certain things just right, or the friction, it doesn't take long for that friction
Yeah.
to wear that bearing down.
How did this idea of creating the school even come about?
We're training. We got with these people from Pensacola,
Okay.
Reliability Solutions.
Okay.
We're in partnership with them.
Mm-hmm.
We've opened up the school building over here for part of it.
Yes.
We're also putting in a machine shop over there too.
Oh, wow.
And so we're going to save a lot of money by doing all of our 100% of our machine work
Okay.
in-house.
Yep.
That's one of the newest things we're doing. Huh?
That's the goal. Yeah.
Oh, it's happening.
No, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. But why do you need the skilled talent? Where did that idea come about? There's a need and a lack of people.
You
applying.
need people to understand how mechanical things work.
Yes.
so you can hire them and pay them better wages
Yes.
because they know
How to do it.
and know how to do it.
Yeah.
So you get just that to mind. Oh, I'm mechanically inclined. I can do this and I can do that. You pick up on a lot of bull that way, where people think they can do things when
Yeah.
they can't.
Yeah. I mean, so Mr. Finley, I think what's incredible is you are providing an opportunity for people to join your company and then be able to get upskilled, and you're going to pay them more as they grow and get upskilled.
That's right. The whole idea, if they grow their skills, they grow their wages, and that helps them and their family live better. And then it also emphasizes, hey, you know what? I can be a mechanic and make more money than I can going to college and getting an education.
And it's not for everybody.
Don't go to college and get in debt. Who wants that? That's stupid.
It's not for everyone. College is not for everybody.
In the college, if you're going to be a doctor, or you're going to be a this, or you're going to be that, an engineer, yeah, you need to go to college.
Yep.
But you go to college to be a school teacher, then
Well, for sure. There's necessary ways for college, but not everybody wants to get a college degree, and they want to go work with their hands. What can they do? What can the folks do that want to come out of high school? They don't want the college route. What are the alternatives here?
well, one of the things is what we're trying to do over there is we're trying to set up and train people to be mechanical.
Yeah.
And that's what they can do. That's what they should do.
And then what kind of jobs do you have here at your sawmills and your businesses that people can apply for and get a good paying job? What are those jobs?
Well, there's two jobs. You have mechanics in the mill. In case something goes wrong, you have mechanics that work on the
Like the millwrights, is that right?
millwrights, yeah. And then you have what you call the operators.
Yes.
The guys that run the machinery.
That's right.
And so they run the machinery and keep up with the production line.
Yep.
And then you have the saw filers, and they're mechanical people too, saw filers and,
Yes.
and carbide tips, carbide filers.
Yeah.
All those people, there's just a numerous skills to be learned.
Mr. Finley, what's a good worker in your mind? What kind of, mindset or aptitude? What's a good worker mean to you? Do they need to be skilled, or can you train them? And what kind of mindset what is a good worker to you?
Well, to identify a good worker, you just have to see, do they have a knack, mechanical knack? Are they trainable? And to be honest, everybody's not trainable. So you have to be able to pick the right people that have the aptitude to do the work.
Totally.
And you got to recognize that, and you have to figure out that, and then you go from there.
If somebody is of the right mindset, I want to learn, I want to grow, Rod maybe is a good example. Would that be a good example of somebody who's grown in your organization over the years?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rod is a perfect example. Rod just, in this industry, he didn't know anything about this. And he came in and he met with Randy Cummins, and he worked under Randy, became number 2 man, and gradually over the years, he's the general manager.
That's incredible.
And he didn't have, he was smart, and he was doing things. He had what it takes. He had what it takes to get things done.
Yeah.
So that's with most human beings, that's what it boils down to. Mm-hmm. Do they have what it takes to get something done and to accomplish things? And that's what you look at.
Mr. Finley, so what I'm hearing from you is, yes, you're a businessman and you have to make good decisions that are business oriented, but I'm also hearing from you that you have a soft spot in your heart for employees, and you want to see people grow and develop and upskill and provide better jobs here so that they can go feed their families.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I'm not talking so much about the softness of my heart, But it's to my benefit and the family's benefit to see that people get there.
I love that. So with that, what kind of legacy would you want to be remembered by for your grandkids when they remember you, the way you remember your grandfather?
Honest, an honest man. He might throw around little cuss words every now and then. It's like
If somebody crosses him wrong way?
but in spite of his faith, which I'm not perfect, don't get me wrong, but I will not cheat anybody.
I think you're doing an incredible job leaving that legacy behind. And I was having great conversations with Caroline, and it's incredible what kind of business you've been able to build. How many employees is it now?
775.
What was it roughly when you took over the company?
I don't know. 90 to 100 maybe.
That's some substantial growth, plus technology and innovation. So your
But
business.
see, a lot of that was when you started, everything was handled by hand.
Uh-huh.
Now, automation has come in and takes less people.
Right.
So actually, if you if you never grew in your automation, it would be 1,000 or more people.
Do you have faith in the future of the wood products industry?
It's going to be here. The industry's going to be here. I have faith in that. This is a commodity business. Prices rise, prices fall. It's commoditized. Makes it difficult at times. At times you get the high side and it's a feast. And then here comes the hard times. It's a famine. And that's the way this industry's always been.
So what makes you successful over the hard and challenging times?
Well, keeping your mind on your business and watching what you're doing and try not to make mistakes, you know.
Well, so Mr. Finley, so when the market goes down, isn't that logical? I'm sure there's a lot of fear and anxiety, but is that the time to make investments so when the market comes back up, you're ready to roll?
That's the way we have done it, yes. We have done that way. In the hard times, do your planning and your building where you'll be ready for the good times.
That's powerful. You said that you're making 2x4s and 2x6s. Do you plan to expand your product mix or get into other types of wood products?
We're looking at the OSB, now. So that could be something that's coming up.
Yeah.
Kind of put that on hold for right now because of the business conditions as they are now. But we're looking for that as a possibility of the next thing.
Thank you so much. So as a young businessman who's trying to get my business going, what's one word of advice to myself, if I could ask that?
Be determined. In other words, don't let anything stand in your way. Be determined and be focused on what you're looking for and have a desire to make it happen. That's about the best I can say to that.